Welcome back to the Thinking Cat. Let's jump right into it. We're going to discuss EdD versus PhD. Which way do I go? What do I choose? That is the question that I had to answer for myself recently. I'm 2 semesters into my own EdD program. And I had to make a choice of which way I wanted to go in that process. So I finished about 13 hours. I'm taking 4 hours this term in the fall. So this is my real life and something that I had to answer for myself. EdD stands for Doctorate in Education. The focus of this is those people who are practitioners, people who are doing the work and they're transferring the research into the real world. They're practitioners. They're doing it. Ideal for working professionals. That currently I am a working professional. I'm a principal of a high school and I'm in an EdD program. So it's actually my real life. I am a practitioner using the research in the real world. Kind of the focus is for those who want to become a leader. Career paths for this is superintendents, principals, teachers, people who want to become presidents, vice presidents, provosts in a university or higher education setting. Really, the focus is on leadership aspects for EdD. Contrast that with a PhD, which is a doctorate of philosophy. They're focused on research. Their goal is to become an expert in the field. They really jump into advanced topics and advancing the topic and advancing the research really heavy around different ideas. An example of that is something that's prominent in the news with critical race theory, which is mostly a higher ed, university, doctoral level thought process that has made its way down into the common lexicon nowadays, and there's reasons for that. One of the things that you want to consider with a PhD program is the time that it takes to put in PhD level work. Oftentimes people who are doing PhD level work, they do it through their some kind of assistantship where they're getting supported and paid for that process, or they're just only focused in on that at the university doing that type of work, versus those who are practitioners who are working and doing an EdD. People who go obtain a PhD are college professors, people who do deep policy research. Sometimes that policy gets into practice in the real world, like we said before. A lot of those laws and bills that are passed come from somewhere, and they often are based on a lot of the research that is done by these experts in the field who have PhDs. So, recap: practitioner, leadership, real world application, moving the research to the real world. PhD, expert, diving deep into a topic and really coming up with different theories and philosophies and a lot of development on the why. But it doesn't necessarily isn't translated into the real world all the time by the person who's doing the research. Let's examine some timelines. How long does this take? EdD takes from 3 to about 5 years to complete, depending on how many classes you're taking per term. I'm looking to finish in 3 years. That's why I've taken 13 hours in 2 semesters. I'm taking another 4 hours here. So I'm really trying to fast track this process. You can have 3 to 8 years to complete it. That's generally the term, even though people finish it in shorter times than that. For the PhD, it's mostly 4 to 8, with some people finishing around 4, 5, 6 years. It depends on how intensive they go with it and how long the program takes. So it varies from time to time based on the program you're getting into. Now, can you do it online? EdD, many programs offer online with a residency, which means you have to come on campus at some point. My program is set up where I have to come on campus in the summer. There's other parts of the program that's, every other weekend or every month they have to come on campus. So it just depends on the program. PhD program is mostly on campus, but they do have some select programs with some mobility of not having to be on campus. So that kind of varies, depends on the school that you choose. So you have to really pay attention to that and what your schedule looks like. Following your passion, that always comes up in the EdD program, in the PhD program, in any doctoral studies. Why? Because it's a lot of work, it's long hours, it's deep research on topics that if you're not passionate about something in this process, if something isn't driving you, isn't pushing you forward, it becomes really tough. That's why so many, and I don't have the statistics, but I don't feel like looking it up, but look it up. That's why you have so many students who fail to actually complete the program once they start it, because it's a very tough journey. It's not an easy process. And people get stopped at different stages, whether it's the dissertation, whether it's after the first few months and things come up in your life, as they naturally do, because generally those who go into it are adults and they're not right after high school, from high school, finish their 4-year, go straight to their master's, go straight to their doctoral work. By the time you get to doctoral work, you have to start living a life. You can't just stay at the university. So as you come out, life hits you even harder and impact you in very real ways. So that's why passion keeps coming up. Another thing I want to emphasize in this point, and just like in the slide says, your programs vary. Some programs have a lot of people who are focused on higher ed. Other programs are people who are K through 12 practitioners, and it may not be that many people who are looking for a career in higher ed. And my cohort that I currently have, only one of us out of the cohort of six out of the cohort of 6 is focused on higher ed. The rest of us, we're focused on K through 12 education. So if that plays a factor in your choice and in your choosing, be sure to look at that and to think about that and ask those questions as you're choosing your program. EdD versus PhD. Thank you all for joining us. See you on the flip side. Peace.